Initiate Vigilante Mode.
Hey everybody, welcome to our spoiler conversation discussion panel about Captain America Civil War. Warning that this is a full spoiler video, so if you have not seen the movie, don't watch this yet. Okay, watch it, but watch it later. Bookmark it or whatever, and come back to it after you've seen the movie. Let's talk about the movie, guys. I mean, what are your like initial reactions, like having just like kind of walked out of it?
That was an extremely explosive movie that had a lot more elements to it than I was expecting. Surprisingly, there was a lot of heart and a lot of feeling that I wasn't expecting to feel. So that was something that was very surprising and also, well, very welcome.
Yeah.
I loved it. Thought it was good. Thought it was entertaining. Thought it was deep. Thought it was funny, like deep and funny, a good balance.
Yeah.
I thought it was like watching an actual comic, because I know that some of our other friends who were watching it thought like they were like too campy at certain times, but I feel like comics in general are campy with certain times, and I thought it was a good, perfect balance. It was one of the best films I've ever seen in that franchise.
Yeah.
It was one of the best. It had everything. Like, it was possibly a tearjerker if you wanted to go there. If you like maybe saw it alone, but I was surrounded by friends, so I didn't let myself go there.
Yeah.
But there was a tearjerking scene where if you were alone, you definitely. Whoa! It's a spoiler. But when we find out the thing about Tony Stark and who killed his parents, that could be a potential tearjerker if you were alone and you were really in it. Yeah. Because even I had to be like, shit.
I gotta agree with you. I felt like they really.
I didn't expect that.
They really played that storyline out well. I didn't expect it either. I didn't really know that they were planning to go in that direction with like linking the characters in that way, having Bucky be, like responsible for his parents' death, because obviously, like, as a character, it's such a big part of his character. It's not like on a Bruce Wayne level kind of thing, but it's still like he's got daddy issues for sure. And Wayne, what did you think of the film?
Again, everything felt really cohesive. It just came together. Like,
it's a good word.
It's like watching. Thank you. I studied. If all the characters felt developed, even the introduction of another sport of Spider-Man, was incredibly well put together. They didn't show us his timeline, but it did introduce him in a light that was charismatic, made him look good, made his action scenes look great. Watching the trailer, you see Spider-Man come out, take the shield, fly over that scene was hilarious. Yeah. It was hilarious. Just watching Spider-Man and another sport of Ant-Man just stole the show from me.
Really?
And
he was a scene stealer for you?
No, the Black Panther.
Okay.
By far.
Yeah, again, I mean, I just felt like this was the most mature of any of them. Like, they've really grown. I mean, this one surprised me with like the level of depth. I felt like the first act of the movie, maybe people would call it slow, but I didn't feel like it was slow. I felt like they really took time managing their world.
And then there was an action scene in the very beginning.
Like, not only was it peppered with action scenes throughout the entire thing, but they were all connected together. I didn't feel like they were just thrown together just for a fan service. It wasn't fan service too heavy.
The guy who directed Creed, Ryan Coogler, he will be directing Black Panther.
Wow.
For
Black superheroes.
Yeah, I mean,
Spoiler alert.
we're gonna talk about like kind of the diversity aspect in a little bit. I mean, like, I want your opinions on this. Like, the growth of Captain America as a character. Like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nobody gave a crap about Captain America. He was an outdated, kind of corny character. And these filmmakers have made him such a bad ass.
Chris Evans helps a lot with that.
Okay.
Of course, the actors help, but also it's the writing. They didn't shortchange him. They didn't BS his character and his development. It took till well, this movie for him to finally get the girl.
Kevin Feige today actually said that they're committing to getting a standalone Black Widow movie.
Nice.
I felt like she really shined in this movie. I feel like she shined in every single one of these movies. She is one of my favorite characters, and I really want to see her on screen.
Yeah.
In her own film, get her own kind of like.
Done it before outside of this.
She's incredible. She can carry a movie. There's no doubt.
She's done it plenty of times.
We learned that in
Lucy. Well, that's a bad
Age of Ultron, that even with the small part from her backstory, we got to see that her story is interesting, and her segment was one of my favorite parts of Age of Ultron.
In a big sense, you know, the movie, like the theme of the movie is like friendship, is like kind of rudimentary as that sounds, but I mean, like, yeah, exactly. All these relationships were tested, and I do like how it comes back to those the two of them, and I really do feel like Captain America is so relevant now, you know, with the way that they portray him. You know, he's more of like a military weapon, you know.
So like in other movies, when they do like the action scenes, they like just shake the camera and you could barely see the action. This movie was very crisp. They didn't shake the camera once, and you saw every punch, every twist, every flip. They didn't. It was
beautiful shot movie.
Yeah,
beautiful shot.
Nothing was shaking.
Sounded like a hit. When T'Challa hit you, it hurt.
Especially when people get hit. I feel like when people get kicked. You really feel
the impact of the chest on them.
Or like getting thrown into the walls. Like, even because of the superhero like genre, you see that so much. But I actually feel like they're like not reinventing it, but they're improving upon those like motifs, you know. And
even when Spider-Man had to be sent home because he was too beat up, like that, I thought that was cool and realistic to see, because even though they're superheroes, you gotta chill out sometimes.
And he's like the young one. He's the one who's the least experienced in all of this. You can't even call them cameos. They're
they really did like kind of distribute the screen time, I think, pretty like economically and like.
And made the introductions. So many introductions of characters, especially with Black Panther and Spider-Man. Both of them never been in the MCU before. They both were introduced, and neither one of them felt shoehorned or felt like it was too loaded, or damn, I wish I knew a little bit more about their backstory. No, we got just enough to be able to follow the story and make us more interested for their standalone movies.
Right. So I feel like this is, in a way, like the end of like kind of like an arc, if you will. And you know, we have Infinity Wars coming up, but before that we have Doctor Strange, we have Black Panther, or maybe I think Black Panther's wedged in between Infinity War Part 1 and some other stuff. I'm not even sure like the release dates on these at this point. They're always changing because now they're making more room for Spider-Man. Yeah. But then there's Thor and there's Miss Marvel. What are some of your like expectations? We even got to see the trailer again for Doctor Strange. What are some of your expectations about like the next couple of movies? I mean, you're not as much of a comic book reader, so do you know anything about this Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet situation?
Just Doctor Strange, but yeah, I don't know anything. Sure. Even though I know roughly, so this could be wrong, but I know the whole point of all of it, or whatever, is those crystals or those gems. Things. So is that it's roughly about?
Right. Which I was actually kind of impressed that they didn't touch upon it. Each of those movies is like about them pursuing one of them, or somebody pursuing. Kind of like would have been interesting if the Zemo guy was maybe like had an ulterior motive. I thought that could have maybe.
And that's another character that I really enjoyed. I enjoyed watching Baron Zemo just being an all-day modern terrorist.
Yeah.
He just this backstory, losing his family and fighting back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
And it felt more realistic than anything else.
He was a much more grounded villain than a lot of the other villains that we've gotten.
Just smart.
A lot of other channels and reviews like say that the villain was the weak link. I don't really get that from this one. No, he wasn't like he's not Thanos or someone Loki or like any of these big grandiose flamboyant like villains. Yeah. But like Wayne said, he's very realistic, modern day terrorist. He's pitting these two forces, this one force, splitting it up and then putting the pieces against each other. Yeah. It's a classic plan. But it also threw a modern spin on it.
It's really sad and depressed that these people who are heroes and everyone loves them killed my family.
The collateral damage
that we see every movie.
The consequences of their actions I don't think any superhero movies really ask those questions yet. You know,
At least not
like this.
It's like modern day warfare. Like you go to Syria, you go to Iraq,
or with these drones. You know how there's always casualties, and we're trying to minimize the casualty rate. And you hear even Hillary Clinton talking about how we're just going to try to keep them to a minimum.
That doesn't mean zero.
It's impossible.
I lose my family in war, and I'm not supposed to get revenge for it.
Exactly.
It's scary.
And then again, another theme of the film. And so we got friendship, we got collateral damage, but then we also have revenge.
Yes.
I mean, and I thought that was so powerful with like Black Panther, and
it showed you so much of his character. The fact that he was ready to kill him, ready, and then when he saw that dude solo his story, and he was just like, I'm good, like
he gave.
But you're not gonna kill yourself though.
The usage of CGI in this movie,
absolutely stunning.
Really,
from Ant-Man to Spider-Man, seeing his eyes move.
Yeah.
After he gets, spoiler alert, new suits. Just seeing Iron Man, even from movie 1, which I thought the CGI was amazing.
Same here.
To this day still holds up.
I
thought it was so good that I didn't notice it.
I feel like my eyes are just really they're looking for bad CG. And I felt like there was a couple of moments where I was like,
you were looking,
but it's not because I'm like, I look at everything scrupulously, but and this is really me nitpicking too. Okay,
absolutely.
You can talk about like the cons in a moment too, but I just felt like there was a few moments of CGI there. I was like,
there was only one scene for me, like Captain America walks into the airport. It's like the first scene. You could tell flat out there was green screen. You could tell flat out. I was like, dude. Come on, you're a Marvel.
As a matter of fact, thinking of like some of the production stills I saw, I'm pretty sure you're correct. Let's get into like the main event, okay?
Alright.
Spider-Man. Let's just talk about Spider-Man for a couple of minutes. Tom Holland.
That's his name.
That's his name. Marissa Tomei, Aunt May. We were introduced to a new version of Peter Parker in this movie.
Where has it been?
That's a good question.
It was spot on.
They made me love Spider-Man, and not just because he's cute, but he owned the screen with these titans who do this. And I've never seen this kid. And he owned the screen and made the people love him. Like he might have been Spider-Man.
He might have stole the show.
He should have been Spider-Man. Like Tobey Maguire, all them. Sure, you did great things, but you don't have.
No,
you're not as good as him.
The thing is, Tobey Maguire was a good Peter Parker at the time.
At the time,
he captured that whole underdog.
Well, Andrew Garfield's the one that I didn't care for.
Andrew Garfield, he was a good Spider-Man. He captured the levity of him. He joked around.
This one has
small guys. He not only captured both, but took both of them to a level that neither one of the previous Spider-Mans really brought it to. He made it his own.
Also the writing, and the way they kind of like interpreted the character. He didn't live in like a little house. Now he's like in the project. That's what that neighborhood looks like. And so I was just like so happy to see them capture like some of that reality there. Here's what I just wanted to add about the CGI. Now, this is one of my cons of the movie. Every drop of Spider-Man is CGI. Every single frame of Spider-Man is CGI. Now, was it bad CGI? No. It was incredible CGI. It looked great. All of his action, all of his fight sequences look so cool. But obviously CGI. No stuntman is doing that. That's one thing I did applaud them for in the Andrew Garfield series, because they actually tried to do a lot of live action stuff. Now I get that the circumstances in this movie were different, and he's fighting people. But when I'm looking at Black Panther fight, looking at Cap or whoever, I'm just like, he's so CGI and they're not, and I just kind of wanted a little bit more tangibility.
But to the point of the movie, you can't have a Spider-Man, a man flying around, zipping web stuff all over the place, and not be
CGI. Obviously, yeah. I just felt like
when he's static, you need him to. You need that connection.
It was a motion capture performance.
Exactly.
You can
even with Black Panther. Black Panther, when he wasn't moving, you could tell that that's a suit. That's him in it, and it moves a certain way. And then when he's fighting, he's doing his extra acrobatic stuff. You can be like, okay, that's probably a little bit of CGI, but at times you're almost questioning it, since you already saw him as like in the suit, so you can suspend your disbelief for a little bit longer. With Spider-Man, we saw his original suit, so we already have an idea of what texture looks like, but we only see him in this rubbery suit. It does take you out, well, it took me out for a moment.
Yeah,
I disagree.
But then as soon as the action started,
yeah,
I was right back in.
I was just see. I mean,
Because he's so good.
Yes.
It keeps you in it.
His banter.
His acting
Like Deadpool.
was incredible.
I want to see him
Like,
and
it kept
Him
Ant-Man.
and Deadpool are so similar in like
Very
their kind
much
of
so.
personality.
I would love to see those two together.
What are some other things that you guys didn't love or thought they could have done better? Kind of hard to think about, right?
I thought it was great.
I mean,
I can nitpick, so we'll nitpick.
Yeah. To see Scarlett Johansson's butt. I would love to see that.
ScarJo.
ScarJo's.
What's the movie? It's rated PG-13 though, right?
Yes.
That's right.
But no, seriously.
I mean, honestly, looking at
bikini shot.
looking at ScarJo's face is enough for me.
I have one that maybe. I mean, I'm trying to nitpick.
Go ahead.
First it's a question. Is Mary-Kate's sister
Elizabeth
Olsen getting her own
Scarlet
movie? She getting her own movie?
No.
So this is my question.
Mm-hmm.
All the time and energy that they spent on her on her stuff, they could have spent it on something else. That's my nitpicky thing because she had a really big part of the movie as if something else was gonna happen, but if there's not, they could have put that energy to someone else. The writers could have written to someone else.
This is a backlash between her and what happened to Sokovia.
Okay.
Like showing that the Avengers come in and they destroy Sokovia because of Tony Stark and Ultron, and it just goes to show, another spoiler alert, that she is capable of making mistakes as a new Avenger.
Yeah.
It really added some depth and gravitas to the character.
I mean,
the Vision. The Vision was used as like a watchdog. He was like basically one of those we have here.
But
He's more
I'm
really powerful,
gonna
right?
rebut though with because in the comics, he and Scarlet, and this is a spoiler for the comics, but like he and Scarlet Witch have a relationship in the comic books, and they even have a kid. So I think they were exploring. I know it's weird. I know, but I think that's some territory to explore. I think you definitely saw chemistry there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I agree with him in the sense that Vision was almost underutilized. I understand that he was, born in Age of Ultron, and he hasn't been alive for too long. He's still trying to figure out how to interact with people and what have you. But he's
That.
Okay.
So,
Takes your breath away. That's why we were squinting at you. We were like,
but no, my whole big problem with him is he was a little bit too detached. He's human enough and emotional enough to connect with her, but not emotional enough to like.
He's getting there. I don't think he really is fully connected with her yet.
Right.
I think we're seeing seeds of they've planted seeds. I think for places for that to go. I honestly, personally, I thought he was. I thought he had enough to do, and because he's such a powerful character, I don't think that you can really, I think they had to kind of like throw him into what did she do? She like throws him down to hell.
Heel as well.
Tony was concerned with like his creation, like not working correctly, and I think that was a pretty big tell that he has some emotion. That he's more than just like a robot.
Yep.
Let's just talk about Tony Stark for a second, okay? Cool. Because he was also, I guess you could say that yes, Zemo was like the villain, but Tony was really like the antagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
I just thought his performance was so good. Well,
but not to this degree.
Just about every movie from Age of Ultron to the
to the Iron Man movies.
To the Iron Man movies. He's the he creates this technology.
Well, he's his own worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy.
He makes mistakes. It's a human side to his character.
Yeah,
he's human, but
flawed character.
He's a flawed character
with all of his like gifts.
I think the Age of Ultron was a really big step for his character too, because it was even more direct.
Because that's when he has the God complex.
Well, and he was trying to like eliminate. I mean, that's what makes me like Age of Ultron even more now is the fact that he was really trying to eliminate the need for the Avengers, and it really does play into this movie. It makes me want to watch that one probably out of any of them, like right now.
Yeah.
To be like this is like where that train of thought kind of like continues. The fact that he's like, so I just made that huge mistake, and now I'm going to try to rectify that by just acknowledging that we do need governance. S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. No Nick Fury wasn't even in this movie, which was an interesting thing.
He never controlled the Avengers, but he did harness them. You could see why Captain America would have want no part of any sort of governance or someone who's going to tell him, no, I tell you what's good and what's bad. He has his moral. Because that's the whole reason that he's Captain America to begin with, was because of his moral compass and his ability to see right and wrong and to look past just what's being placed in front of him and look at even more bigger pictures than even Tony Stark is looking at.
Alfred Woodard messed him up at the beginning of the movie. Like that, it messed him up. And I feel like that's why I loved her quick little 3 minutes. I feel like she got into his head so much, she was the catalyst for him making the majority of the decision that he made. Had he not seen her in the elevator, he could have been swayed by Scarlett Johansson or the Black Widow. But meeting her and having that picture thrown in his chest, like, I just feel like that really developed.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the broadcast television side of Marvel, is very much connected to the movies. And they are developing even more content for network TV with like kind of more comedy-driven stuff about like collateral damage and like people working at the newspapers and all of that stuff. But there's also this Netflix Marvel Cinematic Universe, or the Marvel Netflix Universe, or whatever you want to call it. I'm curious to see how and if you think that they're going to maybe intertwine these two worlds. And if so, which character do you think would kind of mesh, or characters would mesh with the films the most?
Daredevil.
Definitely.
But
I think it's kind of a no-brainer.
Like the person who plays Daredevil, I'm saying, is good enough to be in a movie.
I gotta say, there was a moment in this movie, Civil War, right? I thought he was gonna like walk in. they were like hoping. I mean, I really do want, because he is my favorite character.
Yeah, he could have even been their lawyer. They don't even know he has powers. That would have been.
There's all these like circles, even on Jessica Jones and like all these other moments where I'm like, Daredevil should be right there. They need a lawyer.
In the defense of like plots and that Avengers, all that, they have so much money that they would never get a Daredevil because he's not Johnny Copper, and they would never find him.
You're absolutely right.
So that's a plot hole. Like, if they did hire him, that wouldn't make sense. That'd be too much like a.
See, I wouldn't even need him to be hired by them. I would just want a courtroom scene and Matt Murdock happens to be.
He could be leaving,
defending someone.
It could be as mild as possible. I don't even really be in the suit. I just kind of want him to like. I want to know, because I feel like out of all of these street level characters, he's like the most like important one in some ways. I mean, they're all.
And he has a relationship with Doctor Strange. He's the head of the Hand.
Oh, that's right. Who? Doctor Strange or Daredevil?
Daredevil.
Right. He recently basically like turned to the dark side kind of thing and took over. Now he's back.
And the guy's probably trying to find a lecture.
Now, a great addition to the MCU would be Kingpin. Not only because he is a very prolific character in the Spider-Man universe, but he's also in the Daredevil universe.
And he has a jetpack?
He has.
That's decent.
In the background.
Blasphemy!
Okay, guys. Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Like, I feel like the original Avengers movie was also really good with this, but these character moments, man. A movie could be terrible, but if the characters are interesting and relatable, and you can connect with them, that means more to me, you know, at the end of the day. And you just said this word earlier when you were talking about torment. I just wanted to really quickly touch upon the kind of this torment of Bucky and of the Winter Soldier. And I really felt for him in the Winter Soldier movie. And this one made me really, really care about him even more. And the fact that he's just like abused. He's just an abused kid, basically.
And he remembers all of it.
You know?
And they let you know that because when Tony was like, do you remember them? And he said that's why I loved he was like, I remember all of them. That was just like a little like thing of like,
I gotta say,
sleep.
I thought his performance,
that's why he wanted to be frozen.
I thought everybody's performance in this movie was great. I thought his was kind of the standout performance for me. Not just because I met him the other day and he's awesome, but I actually really thought he was really good in this movie. Like, he played that character really well.
Damaged character.
Yeah. That messed up. He's like Wolverine.
Yeah.
You know, like really messed up in that. They really created this. Almost like I feel like they created a character out of scratch with him. You know, like he's in the comics. He's got his whole run, and they built him up. Brubaker's run. They made this whole new beast with the Winter Soldier in these films. I'm just really impressed.
People in the comics made the character for me. Seems like that character was just so, like you said, well developed.
Yeah.
Just really tormented. There was even a scene, I wanted to point this out a while ago, but it was how I think Tony Stark said something about his mother, like, you killed my mom. He didn't mention his dad.
He
did not mention his dad. Said, you killed my mom.
Man. Oh,
you killed
took it to another level in this movie.
But Tony said, like, Captain America's like, he's my friend.
Yeah.
And then Tony said, well, I also your friend. But then they have, right after that scene, they have a battle fight. And this was, you know, I can cry at anything. It was, if you really watch it, when Captain America was beating Tony up and about, there was a moment where Tony thought Captain America was going to kill him. Yeah. So he went like this, and then when he didn't kill him, if you looked at it really quick, Tony's eye, like the acting in the face was so, because he was just like, oh, like we're fine. Like even though we're fighting, we're not really fighting.
Robert Downey.
That was perfect.
Robert Downey.
That was.
You're just so fun. You're just so good, man. This movie kind of like, it felt culminating in some ways. Like, not the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the end of like a big chapter of it.
Yeah, now it's new and fresh.
And everything is rearranged. And the last several movies, like, everything gets rearranged.
Building to a boil, slowly.
So it's like, once this like invader Thanos comes, I mean, okay, so for those who don't know about the Infinity Gauntlet situation, you know, all these gems or whatever that's going to be put into this gauntlet, I mean, literally, he snaps his fingers and like half of the universe's existence is just wiped out. Now, yes, that's a spoiler for like what's in the comics. I don't know how they're going to handle it in the movie, but I mean, that just tells you a little bit of the stakes. And also, I mean, like, it's pretty cool in the comic how there's like all these natural disasters and it brings in all these other characters, and Doctor Strange is a huge part in that. So I think it's going to be fascinating to see how they repair these relationships amidst that. You know, that's gonna be nuts. So
that's why they need Samuel L. Jackson, because I feel like the easiest way. This is me like quickly just thinking. He could just bring them on a retreat or like get it together.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah. About it.
No, and that's what they need. But I feel like that would be.
Widow, shut the F up.
That would be perfect.
Widow, I don't remember asking you one. Damn.
Yeah, that would be actually perfect. Like, yeah, they need to bring some sort of person in, and they can do that in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then it's solved. Everyone gets along again. But if they don't do that, then it's gonna like, then it's more writing than they need to do.
This question of diversity, and what do you guys think of it? What do you guys think of the diversity in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? This film in particular, the lack of it, or I mean, you know, what do you think?
I think I wish that this form of diversity existed when, like, years ago, because I mean, this is just on a black level.
We're definitely on a black level.
No, I mean, whatever. There have never been that. Like, my favorite was Batman. Like, but I didn't have it. Like they're not like. Of course, there have been black superheroes that are in the comics. That's not everyone reads comics.
And we had Meteor Man.
The fact that, but not everyone reads comics. That's like a different.
You never saw Meteor Man?
We had Blank Man.
No, that sounds horrible.
We definitely had
Blank Man.
My dude.
Blank Man.
No, but I hear what you're saying.
So I just like that now they're giving us a chance to be on actual film.
Well, to see ourselves in the movie.
Yep. And to see ourselves in the movie, and then to have that little 7-year-old like kid, or not even black kid, just any kid who doesn't want to see a white superhero, be like, oh cool, we can, like, there's black superheroes too. Like, I just think it's really important. But now I also think now they need other races actually, because it's only black and white actually.
The MCU as a whole, like, there's the Defenders, there's Jessica Jones, the LGBT characters, the black characters, Luke Cage.
Who's an LGBT character?
Yeah, who?
Jessica Jones is an LGBT character. One of her friends, I think. It's like
in the comics you talking about?
The LGBT character.
One of her friends is an LGBT.
I know Jessica Jones is dating Luke Cage.
Right.
But there are some child characters that they had to bring in to the MCU.
Okay.
Like, including Miss Marvel, who's supposed to be LGBT.
Is that right? I don't even know that.
To be,
Wait, the current Miss Marvel or Carol Danvers?
I think Carol Danvers.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I would love it if Spider-Man.
I'll be real. The only, I agree 100% with your point. I mean, like, look at Finn in Force Awakens. You know, now we can see ourselves in Star Wars more than just Lando and Mace Windu are really, like, you know, ancillary characters. We have a main character who we can vibe with and
who's a king.
We see ourselves with. So
he's a king.
Absolutely.
He's not just a random dude who got bit by something.
And also not just a sidekick like Falcon and Rhodey.
Falcon is a sidekick, but he is a very
great.
important one.
Yeah, he was a good.
I mean, you need some comic relief too.
Of course, he needs the comic relief, but also he's the one who had Captain America's back throughout the entire thing.
He's really loyal. I love that quality.
Just seeing the Black Panther, and again, I'm going to use this word again, gravitas of the Black Panther fighting against racism and oppression all throughout history as a character.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I forgot this thought 3 times. So if I don't say it now, I'm forgetting it now. I like that in with the Black Panther, going off of earlier what we said as far as they did such a great job with developing the characters so quickly. Yeah. He just said a simple line of like, this is like passed down from generation to generation. Like I've been doing this, but now I'm king because my dad did. Like, but it was just like they did such a good job with just having a few sentences say so much without it seeming forced.
I'm gonna start to wrap it up here, and this is a good way to segue into like the post-credit scenes. What do we think of these post credits? I mean, it's like a staple now. You know, like if you don't know, stay after the credits.
Yeah.
Every single one of these movies here has at least one scene. Some of them have 2, where they give you a little bit more. So the first, let's just recap. So the first one was Steve
Getting put back under.
Well, yeah, that's right. Bucky decides to go back into cryo to prevent
more torment. Like that shows you the fact that he'd rather be Michael Jackson style. Like just put me to sleep. No, but that was really interesting that they put that because they were like, just
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Jackson is frozen.
And not Tupac and Biggie.
the other day.
But it shows you the torment that he was like, I'm not safe. I can't sleep,
and he just causing havoc. I mean, and so that was the first one. They're in Wakanda, and T'Challa, Black Panther, and Steve are talking about like kind of the future, I guess.
Right. And then they have that Black Panther
and
shot.
And you see the shrine of the Panther.
And I love how you can see just how close technology is to nature in their culture.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it's very incorporated. They don't compartmentalize everything like we do in our society.
It's not separate.
Everything's incorporated. Everything works together in harmony, which is another reason why they're able to stay the strongest power in the world.
Yeah. And then the second post-credit scene was was like a little bit of Spider-Man, and that was nice to see. I gotta say that was I like that scene more.
Real enough.
Exactly. How about Marissa Tomei? My God, that is a beautiful woman.
I want her to be mine.
Why has Aunt May not been hot? Why did we not think of this years ago, though? Like, why is this the first time it's being introduced that Aunt May is not old?
No, she's been getting progressively younger throughout the series. I mean, like, she was super old, then she was Sally Field, and now she's like, and Marissa Tomei is like 50, 51.
But she looks 30-something.
Oh, God. And I love this idea of, like, Tony and her developing because
that way Iron Man can make a cameo in Spider-Man.
No, I think I'm crushing on Marissa Tomei right now.
I think we're all a question on Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, favorite character.
So there's, that's right, I don't have to backtrack. Yeah. Spider-Man, because he stole the scene every time he was on screen.
He was great.
Very cute. But he also, not just the cute thing, he stole the scene because you can be cute and not be good. Andrew Garfield's very cute. Yeah. He didn't do it for me. So, that I liked. But I think my favorite, because of the conflict and just seeing everything, Black Widow. Because she had to deal with so much stuff and had to, like, these are her friends. Like, she had to go through so many things and make so many decisions and, like, had to stop Black Panther at one point so that they can get away. Like, her character was my favorite because she had to play both sides, but not because she wanted to, because she's also good at that. She's a human. That's kind of also what she's. But to be a human, you had to play both sides. The only reason that Captain was on that side because he's not fully human, and then also the only reason, Iron Man is human, but her character was very human to me because the sense of I can't just pick a side because I love both of you, and both of you are wrong. Like both of you need to come together and figure it out. Both of you are so this. So I loved her character because she was trying to get everyone to just get along.
I really enjoyed Scarlet Witch. I enjoyed her arc and where she came from from Age of Ultron, because I was kind of nervous about her character. Not only her being extremely powerful, but her being with the Vision and having being able to be brought down to Earth, to our level, through the Vision and through like her mishaps and her humanity. She had a lot more humanity than like her character would have let you see in the first one, Age of Ultron. But the character that I felt the most for had to be T'Challa, Black Panther.
Yeah.
Just because, for several reasons. First off, I feel like I'm represented through him.
Yeah.
I feel like I could put on a suit and actually do something now instead of just living. Well, I'd still be living vicariously through him, but instead of being like, okay, I have to exonerate one of these Caucasian characters instead of having someone that looks like me and busting ass finally.
And who has always been like
Don't get me wrong, we got Rhodey before, and he did the damn thing, and I appreciate him for Don Cheadle for what he's doing, and Terrence Howard before.
Yeah.
But and also we got Falcon, which he's a good supporting character, but T'Challa's a king, and everyone around him sees him as a character that you can't talk down to him.
Even Captain America, Your Highness. Like, everyone respects him when he's there.
Regardless of if you're on his side or against him, he commands respect when he comes into the room or it comes into the vicinity. And that's something that is sorely lacking with, well, people of color on screen. Like, even if we are featured,
heroic roles.
exactly.
You know?
Like, even if we are on screen, we're not exalted or exonerated or at least given the proper respect.
Like prestige.
Yeah, prestige.
Yeah,
like
that's,
that character.
They gave him prestige. And,
Yeah, you know, I think you bring a really good point. I mean, it does speak to that topic earlier of the diversity, but the fact that he's royalty and just commands respect, and
he's not evil about it. He's not nasty.
You're so right.
He's literally
it's almost like his character.
This is me, and you will respect. Yeah.
So for me, like it had to be stole the show for me. Captain America and T'Challa.
Okay.
And Captain America is always just a badass.
Yeah.
Like just stern, strict, to the point. Threw a shield around in the first few scenes like a boomerang. Had to come back to him after whooping your ass. Like, it was just a really cool thing to watch, Captain America. And I've never seen Captain America in any of his movies fight this well. Even the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
He fought the scene with him and Bucky, just going at Captain America, bang, bam, boom, bam,
Man,
bam,
when he's
boom.
ripping out the thing, it's just, I'm like,
everything even
Kali-Maing freaking.
I love everything even made sense, even with you were talking about earlier when he was throwing his thing around. Like, I just like that while I was watching this movie, the reason why I couldn't find a lot of errors because I feel like the writers actually took their time writing and didn't try to have, like, when he was throwing his boomerang, I mean his shield, it hit the wall, it hit this, and then it hit the dude here. Normally, I feel like if the writers weren't thinking, when it hit him here, the dude would have passed out. Yeah. I like that it stunned him because it hit all these things before it hit here, and then it was like the dude was stunned. But that little scene showed that they cared enough not to just be like I just like that. It made sense. Like, it wouldn't hurt as much. I mean, it hurts, but it went from here, there. Now it's hitting you. It's not the same as when he throws it at you. Yeah. Because when he throws it at you, you're done. Yeah. But it hit this and this, and that's why that dude was just like stunned. Yeah. Like, they really thought out every action scene. Oh yeah. And I appreciated it because I didn't feel like any action scene was just like just because.
Again, back to T'Challa, like he's the character every black kid wants to be. If you follow any of the comics,
and he looks so cool.
He looked cool. Like I said, the scene where he jumped down,
he's like, I'm here.
It's super cool.
It's like, he was
super cool. He didn't have any real weapon besides his claws
and his strength. Yeah,
his strength. He was just fighting off girth and manhood alone, and that felt like the character that I want to be.
Yeah, Pepper's having a nice little dream. Just listen. Oh my God! Okay. And this is such a hard question. I mean, I'm glad actually everybody picked two because now I don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, it's so hard. I really loved Iron Man. I thought Iron Man was really reaching a new emotional peak with this movie and really continuing, like the fact that they still have places to go with Tony Stark after all these years now. I was just really impressed. I thought his performance was so good. I mean, he's still so engaging as Tony Stark. He's still owning it. He is Tony
Yeah.
Stark. He is Iron Man. Like,
Absolutely.
it's like weird, like the aesthetic distance. Like, no, there really isn't any here. Like, he is Iron Man. But my number one though favorite character, Bucky. I love this Winter Soldier character. And no, not because I met him the other day. I mean, maybe that enhances it a little bit more.
A little.
Maybe I was watching him a little bit more to kind of really like explore. But he's the point of the movie, and the crux of it, and the reason for a lot of the conflict.
He's
And
set up. The whole point of the movie is that he was set up, like right in the beginning.
I mean, again, it's like they kind of are exploring these conspiracy things with that character and like who's behind all that. But yeah, I just love this torment that his character has gone through, and this sad story. I mean, like he went to be he was always Steve, the guy who was picked on. He was always his like his bodyguard, his best friend, the guy who like kind of had his back even when he was like nothing. And then they go to to war and they fight side by side and they get like disconnected. And I love this. I like that this story is about like them reconnecting and trying to like salvage that relationship and figure that out amidst like all these horrible things that he's done unwillingly. So I just thought that there was an incredible emotional depth with that character. I thought he gave a great performance to Sebastian Stan. Last thing we must do is rate this movie. So let's just keep it simple. Let's just go this way and give it a score out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being a complete bomb.
I mean, I was very thoroughly entertained. And I guess I'll be the Paul Abdul in this panel of things. If I couldn't nitpick at all, that means it would be a 10. So there's very few things to get a 10. But I would give it a 9. A 9.
A 9? Okay.
I was engrossed in every scene, in every character. There was no one who I felt like, get them off the screen. Where's the next guy? Where's this character? Everyone did it for me. I give it a 9.5.
Like most of the MCU movies, I just was thoroughly entertained. I enjoyed every bit of this movie. From the Black Panther to Spider-Man to Iron Man to Captain America, my dude. 9.5.
9.5. I agree, guys. I mean, like, the entertainment factor and value was there. The production value was there. The thoughtfulness, like more thoughtfulness than I expected there to be. Like now I see what so many people were saying and like kind of raving about. The stakes were high. There is something I did think that we missed talking about. I just felt like that Rhodey kind of should have died. I just feel like the stakes would have been a little bit higher if somebody died. I mean, it's like I know they're afraid of like killing popular characters and all that stuff. It would have added another dimension to the movie, and I think actually he would have been the right character to kill. But I'm sure it's just a matter of like or
maybe actually make him a non-recoverable paraplegic.
Yeah.
Like stuck. Maybe not kill him, but literally.
I don't know.
There's no hope.
I feel like at that point you kill him. Okay. So with those things said, because that's probably my biggest gripe with the movie.
That was great.
So without further ado, I'm gonna give this movie a 9. There it is right there. 9.25. Thank you so much for watching. Really quick, guys, where can we find you online, Toine?
You can't. The only people that can contact me are the people in this room.
Alright, thank you very much. And thanks for being on the panel. Nando, where can people find you online?
Well, pretty soon on my channel that I'll be starting up fairly soon. You can also catch me on Twitter at VulcanMits. At VulcanMits.
There you go. And Wayne, thanks for coming on today and coming through to watch the movie.
I'm not online yet, but I will be soon.
Okay, so you can find him on Facebook at Wayne Lawson. Is that fair?
That's fine.
Okay, cool. And of course, guys, you can find me at my YouTube channel, Vigilante Mode Reviews. You can find me on Twitter at Haynes Jordan. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and definitely go see this movie, Captain America. Civil War. I keep wanting to say
in theaters.
But see this movie.
It is worth your time.
It's worth the money.
It's
worth. It's a great experience, and it really does, hit you in the gut with like some emotions and some serious depth. So until next time, guys.
Vigilante Mode, deactivate.
Thanks, Nano got it because he. Anyway, bye.